Okay, like then there are three different kind of triggers are there, depends upon the events. Okay, when the action taken place in terms of DDL events, you can call those triggers as DDL triggers. And when the action taken place, when you want some action to be taken place, when the event occurs in terms of DML triggers, DML operations or DML events, you can call them as DML triggers. And there is one more level of trigger is there. Those are called log on trigger. Okay, this I'll give you the brief, but we can actually practice later. Okay, I need to set up the system for it. Okay, log on triggers. Okay, most probably these log on triggers and DDL triggers taken care by the hardcore administrator. Okay, you need to know the Windows shell programming. Okay, now then most of the developers work on the DML triggers, but triggers is a very important content and the very effective thing. Okay, then let us see. Then DDL triggers means what? What are the events? Create, alter, drop. What you are going to create? Tables, views. But when you are creating a table, can I record that information into the another table? We are at the above table level, no? Now, this kind of a trigger you can call as database level trigger. This is only the terminology I am telling you for understanding purpose. Okay? Don't search in Google. Database level triggers. And DML triggers, what are those events? Insert, update, delete. Okay? But when you want to action to be taken place, after inserting or while inserting or instead of inserting, then there are the three different time periods are there for the event to occur. Okay, then those time periods are after, for, instead of. What is the difference between after means what? Let it the event occur, then after do something. Let the people insert the record and do something. Means what? Let the insertion complete, then do something and take the action. And after, for means what? While inserting, simultaneously do it. While inserting and instead of inserting, do something. Instead of inserting this record, do something else. Okay? Or instead of creating, do something else. Instead of dropping, do something else. Instead of altering, do something else. Okay? Now, for logon, you don't have the after for, then I'll let you know. Okay? Logon events. We'll concentrate on DDL and DML triggers. Okay? Now, here, then there is one more in the before. That before is not going to work in SQL Server, but if somebody is working on the PL SQL, yes, possibility is there. Okay? Before doing something, do some other thing. Now let us start working on from the DML triggers. Now, let us see this one situation. Now here we have the tables in VHM new, and if I want, there is a customer table is there. If somebody is inserting the records into the customer table, I want to know, or either inserting or updating or deleting, I want to know, okay, who is inserting at what time they are inserting or who is updating at what time updating. Then all those information I want to store it in other table. For that purpose, I'll create a new table. Okay, I'll write a script. Okay, I'll create a new table. Create one transaction information or PR underscore customer. customer transactions. Cust. Okay. Create table cust and with the column, okay, transaction ID as integer, and I don't want to manually enter this integer value, then I'll ask the system to enter it. Then what will I do? Identity means what? This is the identity value, starts from 1 and increment with 1. I can do whatever I want. Start from 1, increment with 2. Start from 100, increment with 50. 100, 150, 200, 250, like the numbers. The integer, the ID values will be entered into the system. Instead of I enter manually the IDs. Sometimes I might forget, no? I might enter the, okay, instead of that, the system should remember, then enter automatically. Then the next column, the name, the person, okay? The transaction by, okay? And n-var char of 20, comma, and the transaction underscore on, okay? And the date, time. I'm creating a table with, okay, or else and a transaction type. Sorry. Okay, transaction type. Also, I will put it as n-var char of. Okay, I'm creating a table in VHM new execute. Now, let me create a trigger. Okay, then the trigger is going to be that store the information into the transaction underscore customer table when somebody is inserting the records into customer table. Okay, customer table. Now I'll write create trigger. Okay, give some name, insert cust trigger on, I need to tell. DML triggers means what? DML operations happens on the objects, tables. Okay. Then when the people, where the people are going to insert the records? On table. Then on which table? Customer. You need to use the proper table name. Then what? Either for, let us first work on for insert. As when somebody is inserting the records into the customer table, then what I want to do? Insert into tr underscore cust values What is the first value? Do I need to send the customer transaction ID? Do I need to send the customer transaction ID? No, that is identity 1, 1. Automatically system will generate that value. I don't need to worry. What kind of value are? Transaction by. Then I need to give the username. How can I find the username? Then I can use one system function. Okay, yes user yes name, or yes user underscore name, or yes user yes name I can use. Okay, system function is there, no? I can utilize that. Next, how can I find out the transaction on, the date of transaction? How can I find out the date of transaction? At what time the system happening? Then I can get date. Then the transaction type. Then I know that. Here I wrote for the insert. Then I can write inserted. Okay, the value. That's it. If you want to write begin and end, you can write. Okay, begin the transaction and end the transaction. Okay. Pardon me? No. Identity I am not entering. I am asking the system to take automatically. Transaction by means what? The user. I am getting it by using some function called what? Suser, name. And the next is what? Transaction on. On means what? I am using the get date. Then next column is what? Transaction type. Then what I am using? I am writing manually inserted the record. Then let me create this trigger. Okay, execute on the VHM new database. Sorry. Oh, already there?
Probably the stored procedure.
Object here. Insert instead of test. Okay. I created a trigger. Then where this trigger is going to create? Then where we created? On which table? On which table we created? What is the syntax of the trigger? Create trigger, a trigger name on table name. Then I need to go and check in the table name. Which table? Customer. If you expand the customer, there is one more module called triggers. When you open the trigger, yes, insert trigger is created. Okay, insert trigger is created. Now,
can you specify the user you want to monitoring them for the inserting for the specific users, not all the users?
Yes, I can write.
By conditioning.
Yes, I can write the condition. Instead of writing this condition, I can write if the username is this one, don't let. If the logon name is this one, don't let. If suser underscore name equal to Nuruddin, okay? Yes, I can do that. Okay? Don't let one person to insert the record. That I can do. But here my situation is not to stop one particular user. Here my situation is to store who is entering what. Okay? Now let us try to insert the information into the table. Select star from customer to find out the columns. I am using this. Okay, now 15th is there. Now I will let insert into, okay, customer values. Oh, I can use stored procedure also, no?
Yeah.
Not a problem. Okay, values, 15 is there. I can use 16, comma, okay, name 1, comma, okay, 30, comma, gender is there. Oh. No, I'm inserting the record. Just observe here what exactly happening there. I'm executing this particular statement, insert into customer. Means what? I'm trying to insert the records into the customer table. Okay, I'm trying to insert the records into the customer table. Execute. What happened? How many transactions are happened? 1. But what is this? The trigger is executed automatically. Okay, did I execute it? No. The trigger is executed. Let's go and see the values in the select star from PR underscore cust. See, the admin enter the values, okay, on this particular date. Okay, now what I will do is that let me go and log in as another user, like test. Okay, I don't know whether I have the permissions or not. Let us give the permission to test. Oh, VHM test is there, VHM new, I'm making him as a owner. So, already is existing. Is VHM new or VHM? On the, let me make it a system admin. Already existing. Did I give it? Maybe is a. Let us try to insert. System is saying he is already having the thing. Then let me write the query with the test user. Databases. VHM, yeah, is having the permissions. Okay. Let me insert the records using the test. Then if I want to use it, I can write the new query under the test, not as an admin. Okay. This query as a test, see the difference. This query what I am writing as a test, and this query what I wrote as an admin user. Then insert into customer values 17, okay, and name 2, comma, and what is the next thing? 40 and gender. Okay, let me insert this record as a text. Again 2 rows. Let me go back to the admin and execute the. See, who entered the second record? The test user. Like that, if the test user is connected remotely also, I can have all the records. Okay, who is doing what? Like I can create another trigger. Okay, let me copy this trigger. I can create the trigger for updating also. Okay, I'm using the same code for update trigger. Okay, update trigger on customer for update. Not only like that, not only for only update. Okay, I can use after update. Okay, after update. I can use after update. But I can use simultaneously update and delete too. Or I can use insert update and delete too simultaneously. Instead of this one, I'll use modify trigger. Okay, that is the combination of update and delete. Here I'm using the situation called after. Here instead of inserted, I will use modify. Okay, I'll use modified. Same trigger. Okay, I change the create trigger, modify trigger on customer after update delete. I can use the multiple events together. I can use the multiple events together instead of creating separate trigger for separate events. Okay, then as begin, then insert the records. Let us execute this one. Now let us try to delete some record. Delete from customer where customer underscore ID is equal to 15. Two rows. Let us go and work. What happened? Admin tried to modify the record in that one. Okay, admin tried to modify the record. Like here, I don't know whether, okay, after deleting the record, I don't know what exactly the record I got deleted. What exactly the record got deleted.
Open a new attribute or column and insert the the ID of the records.
Okay, then what I'll do is that I'll update this one. Okay, then what I'll do, I can use the instead, or no, I'll use the after trigger only. Okay, here what I'll do, I'll just declare, okay, only name. I want to know the name of the person who got deleted. Okay, now declare @name as nvar char, okay, nvar char of 20. Okay, now I will use select @name is equal to C underscore name. Sorry. Is it correct? C underscore name from, not customer, deleted. Deleted. I want to remove, I don't want to put that. I want to keep the whatever the name you deleted, I want to put that name into the variable called @name. I want to know what is the name got deleted. Okay. Now, then after that I'm inserting that one. Instead of modified here, I'll just put @name. Are you guys understanding what I'm doing? Somebody can know, no? I'm just noting down delete. Somebody is deleting, but do I know what is deleting? Do I know what exactly is deleting? Then I'm storing the deleted information also. I'm storing the deleted information also here. I'm just using the keyword called deleted. Okay, like that I can use one more keyword called inserted. What exactly the record inserted, I want to store that one also. Okay, now like that the user test, it deleted the name called username called this one. Any one record instead of taking, I can take the multiple records also. Here I'm taking only one particular column value. Okay, name, I can recognize the employee, no? Or else I can use the ID also. Okay, now here I'll just alter this trigger. Alter trigger on customer after update and delete as begin. Declare @name as nvar char of 20, where I'm sending the name into the whatever the deleted name. Let us see how exactly it works. Okay, now already deleted, no? What are the other customer details? Let me delete 10th record. Okay, remember I'm deleting the 10th record. What is the name of the 10th record? No name 1. Okay, now 10. Okay, now execute. 2 rows are getting affected. What exactly happened? Let us see. I got the deleted value also. Like that, not only here I'm storing only one value. You can actually store entire values. You can actually store entire deleted values into the another table. Somebody, oh, you deleted. Don't worry, man. I have whatever you deleted, I have the stored in another table. Or else, instead of taking all columns, some important column values store in another table. You can use that keyword called deleted. Like that, inserted. You can use instead of a delete also for the insert, you can use the inserted and deleted. You can use the select star from deleted will get it whatever it is happened here delete. Unfortunately, there is no called updated. Okay. Only deleted and inserted. There is nothing called updated. Okay, you cannot get updated records. Okay. Now deleted values, because deleted and inserted will happen the entire row. So that database can go back and select it from the log file, whatever the transaction happened on that row. But update will happen on what? Each and every value. Each and every value. That is little bit of, maybe they might create something for it. But right now there is nothing called for update. Okay? Delete, you can delete. Then these are the things you can call it as a DML trigger. Either you can do after or delete. Like I will do one more thing. Okay, instead of trigger, let me create one sample table here. Select star into cust1 from customer. What I am doing here?
copying the customer.
Copying the customer table into the cust1. Okay. Now next what I am doing is that I am create the trigger delete underscore trg on customer instead of. Okay, let me disable this trigger because I'm creating, it will create a little bit of confusion. How to disable the trigger? Go to tables, customer triggers. I'm just modifying disable. Okay, I disable this trigger because I'm creating another trigger on same event. Okay, when you're creating the triggers on same multiple triggers, it might create troubles. Okay, then multiple events trying to occur on same thing. Small tables, nothing will happen. Big tables, it will create a deadlocks. Okay, now on customer instead of delete, okay, instead of delete, as delete from CUST, what is that table name? 1, cust1. Okay, instead of delete, delete from the cust1 table. Now just save the trigger, execute a trigger, I got trigger. Now, if somebody want to delete, okay, now somebody want to delete from the customer, he is having the access, delete from customer. What will happen? Does the system give you the error message? System gives you any error message? No. The system will go. 7 rows are affected. He feels that one, oh, I deleted the records from the customer table. Deleted, no? 7 rows got affected. 7 rows got affected. He feels that one, oh, I deleted the records. Or else I updated the records. Or else I inserted the records into the customer table. Then what exactly happens here? If you go back to customer table, where is that select star from customer? See, all the records are there. But where the records deleted from? Cust1 table. Okay, this kind of a instead of thing, you can use it for the security purpose. Okay, if somebody is trying to delete from the main table, don't let him know about that he's doing, because he's not going to sit on the management studio. Okay, see the thing. Okay, he's trying to, I'm deleting, like your Facebook account. You feel that one, you deactivate it. Really, are those people are deleting your accounts from the database? No. Okay, because if they are deleting your account, the thing is that whatever the connections made through your connection, I'm not giving that they are using the trigger. I'm not telling they are using the trigger. I'm telling some situations. Okay, then I don't want somebody to delete anything from my main database. For that purpose, I'll create some copy of the tables. Okay, I'll create copy of the tables. Okay, when somebody want to do some delete operations on the main table, I'll divert the transactions. Then I'll store the information who is trying to delete. Simultaneously, I can run one more trigger also. Okay, I can store the information so that I can save my data, main table data or master table data. Okay. Situations, I'm telling, whatever the situations you can do. These are all called DML triggers. What you are doing, you are writing the trigger on the events called DML events, insert, update, delete. Okay, let us go back to, everybody, any questions? Okay, let us go back to, but triggers you should be very, very careful. Okay, for example, I'm creating the trigger called inserting into the customer, and there are some more records are inserting into the Then if I'm creating one more trigger on the transaction underscore customer, what will happen? Okay, if there is a situation, if I'm creating a trigger on table 1, okay, for the instance for the particular purpose of inserting, somebody is trying to insert the records into the table 1, it will insert the records into the, means what, it will, the trigger will fire and store the information into the table 2. Okay, this is table 1 and table 2. And if there is already one trigger exists in the table 2, that will store the information on table 3. What will happen? Whenever somebody is inserting the record, how many triggers fires? 2 triggers. If somebody created a trigger, again one more trigger on table 3, because you can create a number of triggers on a number of tables. I'm only creating one customer table. Like that, you can create an address table, you can create a product table, you can create a sales table, whatever the table. Then trigger 4. Automatically, how many triggers fires once you insert one record or delete one record or update one record? How many triggers fires? 1 trigger, 2 trigger, 3 trigger, 4 trigger. These are called nested triggers. Okay? Nothing, you don't need to do any nested triggers kind of thing. Trigger, you created the trigger on this, automatically there is already, you create a trigger on this table, you create a trigger on this table, trigger on this table. But make sure this trigger cannot go here. What will happen? What will happen? Continuous loop. This is called one kind of a worm. Okay, database worms. You don't know. Okay, system doesn't tell you. Keep on inserting the record. End of the day, depends upon your database speed, millions of records insert into every table. It will go on like that. You should be very, very careful. Unfortunately, as per my knowledge, there is no statement to find out how many triggers are there in my table. You need to have the proper knowledge on the system. That's the reason database administrators will take care of the triggers. Okay, they will not give the options to the developers just like that. Okay, in most of the situations. Then you should make sure, because if you are creating a trigger on table 1 that will insert the value into the table 2, and there is one more trigger that is inserting the value, when it is somebody is inserting the values, it is going. Whether this trigger doesn't worry whether system is inserting the values or user is inserting the values. The trigger fires for the event called insert. Okay, then it will go on like these kind of triggers called as nested triggers. But don't make these nested triggers as round. That you need to use. The system doesn't tell you anything. It will go. Perfectly, you can write it as per the thing. Okay? It will keep on running, keep on running, keep on running like your worms. Everybody know worms, you call it as Trojans, worms. Worms is like increasing the data like that. Okay? Okay. Okay? Then it will occupy your database space just like that. Okay? Table space just like that. Okay? Now, that you need to be careful. Let us work on DDL triggers. But you should know one thing. DML triggers we are creating on each and every table. Like I can create the triggers on address table. Okay, I can create the triggers on order details table. I can create the triggers on each and every table individually. So that I am executing the triggers on database. Okay, depending upon the code, the trigger is going to create. But when I am creating the trigger on while creating the table, where do I need to create the trigger? If somebody is creating the table, means what? If somebody is doing above the table level, all the DDL operations happens where? Above the table level. Then what? Where do I need to create the triggers? At the database level. But where are those triggers will be saved? Okay? In the programmability, the database triggers. Then how can I create the trigger? But here DML triggers, when somebody is creating the trigger, inserting the record, I am inserting into another table because all the tables are at the same level inside the database. But when somebody is creating the table, I'm creating the figure and database. I'm at the upper level only. But what do I need to do? Can I insert the records into another table? How can I go into the table when the table is not created? You are above the table level, no? Then what can I do? DDL triggers only you can display the messages, or you can raise the errors, or you can stop the transaction. For example, if somebody want to drop a table or alter a table, somebody is trying to alter the table or somebody want to drop a table. For example, we'll take the EMP table, EMP database or new, VHM new. Somebody is trying to, where the tables? Yeah. Somebody is trying to drop a table called cust1. Somebody is trying to drop a table, any table. Okay? Now, not specified. Then what I'll do, I'll create a trigger. Okay? Now, I'll create trigger. Okay? Trigger like trg1 on where? Where do I need to create?
Database itself.
On which database?
VHM.
Then where do I need to execute? If I am writing the VHM new, where do I need to execute that one? Where do I need to execute? Then I need to write database, simple. Then wherever I am executing that one, then I can specify the database name that trigger will execute on the database. Okay, I need to use the database name for, you can use here also for, after, instead of, okay, instances. Then for what? Create. Then here the question. Insert means what? You can only insert into the table. Okay, but create means what? You can create table, you can create trigger, you can create store procedure, you can create view. Then I need to tell the system completely create table. Okay, create underscore table. Okay, or else I can use comma alter underscore table and drop underscore table also. Or else, yeah, create table. As, then what do I need to do? What do you want me to do?
Message.
Either I can print a message or I can raise the error. There is a function called raise error. What is that? Raise error. Yes, raise error. Okay. Then I can write, okay, sorry, you cannot create a table. Then if I am stopping him, what do I need to do? I need to really stop, no? What I can do? What I can do? Roll back. Whatever is trying to do, roll back. Okay, roll back the transaction. Okay, or else I can simply, somebody created the table, I can print a message. But somebody who is going to look at that message. Okay, I want to use that raise a message, sorry you cannot create a table, roll back the transaction. Okay, now. What is that? Raise error, no? What is missing here? Comma? Okay, let us see what exactly a rollback thing. Okay, I can create. Now, if somebody want to create a table, create table. Okay, what do I need to do? table name tab 1 of column 1 integer. What will happen if somebody is trying to create a table on VHM new? Okay, the transaction end in the trigger, the batch has been aborted. Okay, because roll back, but it should display the message. No, yeah, I got the message. Sorry, you cannot create a table because roll back. I did it a roll back. Transaction ended in the trigger. Okay, the transaction ended in the trigger. The batch has been aborted. That means what? The command has been aborted. Means what? Closed. This is a administrator level. You can do this. When I am trying to create a trigger, it is not telling me that I don't have the access. Okay, if I am not giving the access, it is not telling me that I don't have the access. Like for example, if I am around to create it as a test, it will tell access denied because I don't have the access. But the thing is that you cannot create a table. I stopped you. Somebody is stopping you to create a table. Later you can create. Please try after some time. I can write a message. I can write a message. Or else I can write a message. Sorry, you cannot create a table. Please disable. What is that? TRG1. Okay. Okay. Now, please disable the TRG1. When I go back to the disable TRG1, where are the triggers? Okay. When I disable this, then can I able to create the table? That's it. Whenever you want it, whenever you want to stop it, nobody to create a table until 2 days, enable the trigger. Okay, enable the triggers. These are called DDL triggers. Okay, DDL triggers only you can display message, raise the errors, like that you can do. Okay, like that you can do. Either you can roll back the transactions. TCL statement, no? Roll back. The transaction will be rolled back. Let us see whether the table got created or not. If its table got created, it will throw the error, no? Then what? If I can create the trigger here. See, already created table 1 because the trigger has been. Then if I am trying to create a table 2, I'll enable this trigger. If I want to create a table 2, I'll get the error. Please disable the trigger. Like that you can print the message, you can raise the error. I don't know what happened to the raise errors. Okay, raise errors you can use. Okay, only to display on the database it will throw the error or print a message. You can send the message to the application. Sorry, this time you can write a message. Please try it tomorrow. This is not, you are not stopping somebody's access. Okay, you are controlling the transactions. You are controlling the transactions. These are called DDL trigger. Logon trigger, I'll tell you. Okay, once I set up this system. Okay, it will work on the login level. Okay, no. But most of the time, as a developer, you should know DML triggers. And most of the companies, they'll stay away with the triggers. Okay, if trigger is there, that will be in the control of administrators. Okay, that will be in the control of administrator, but you should know. But I don't think there is no statement called to find out how many triggers are. You need to browse the table if you have the access to know triggers are there. Either enable and disable the triggers, or drop the triggers, alter the triggers like you are. Okay, you can do. Now, not only this, instead of databases, I can do all server. I think server. I can use server also. If I am the owner of the system, I can create a one trigger for entire server. Even though 10 databases are there, creating a database, I can do that. Okay? But when I'm using the all server, I cannot execute within the database. I need to execute using the PowerShell. I need to execute using what? PowerShell. See? Start PowerShell. You need to execute the trigger. Okay? Don't worry about those things right now. Okay? These are called triggers. Okay? Action occurred whenever some event is happening, or automated transactions happens, or automated transactions to happen whenever some event occurs, either in the DDL event or DML event. Okay? DML trigger and DDL triggers. Are you guys clear? Now, is it possible to manually execute a trigger? Like a procedure? You can call it as a trigger is also stored procedure, because one of the statement is saved in the database. Okay? It is one transaction saved in the database. No? Either it is an alternative of another transaction, or instead of another transaction, it is also a transaction saved in a database. You can call it as a one special type of stored procedure, but executed automatically whenever some event occurs. Manually, you cannot execute any triggers. Okay? Now, this is a trigger concept. Like for example, somebody is asking, there is in the VHMU, there are customers are there. Okay, and customers are having customer table information. Okay, let me save this. What is the date? Like select star from customer. Okay. For example, I don't want to update the customer's age or a customer's name, but I want to add some syntax to the customer name and store it in some other location for some particular. The people whose age is below 30 or equal to 30. Okay, I want to select some people whose age is below 30 or equal to 30. Okay, the question is that select the people or select the customer below age and attach the name called young or selected people and store it in other table. How can I do that? Store it in cust1 table.
Subquery?
Subquery?
You mean I selected first selected based on the conditions?
Exactly.
Then updated them in the.
I don't know what to update.
I mean insert them in the other table.
Then how can I do that? Select and insert. But how can I know that those names will go there? Those names will go there. Okay. The situation is that I want to select some records. Like this situation occurs, like somebody want to, that employee table people, the owner want, the business owner want to give the raise of or bonus to them, or for 1 month raise, only for 1 month extra salary and later month continuous salary. Okay, then I want to pick out some employees and change their salary and give it to the salary, but store these updations, store this historical information into another table. Because on so and so date, I increase the one particular employee's salary. But I don't want to update his salary. Okay? For one particular month, I am raising his salary and I am saving that raised information in the other table. What do I need to do? Yes, I can write one select statement to select the selected employees. Then what? Then what I need to do?
Remove the condition.
No? I'm selecting, not inserting or updating. Here what do I need to do that? I can do it in 3 different ways here. Okay. One thing is that I can create one temporary table. I can move all those records into the temporary table and I can do the updation and I can move back to the history table. That is one way. But for that reason, I need to create a temporary table always. Okay? And the temporary table means that you are creating an object and loading the values and retrieving the values. After that, you have to kill the temporary table. Okay? Now, there is one more option is there.
Variable, save it in variable.
Exactly. Variable means what? Memory space. Now, instead of creating a table, I'll select the records. Okay? I'll create a memory space. I'll create a memory space. I'll store the information of selected records in this memory space. Okay? Then I will utilize this memory space information into inserting into another table. But memory space, how many records I can save? For example, for one employee, I need to do some calculations. Another employee, I need to do another calculations. Then need to do. I cannot take all the information together, no? That is also not possible here. I need to write hundreds of update statements. The employees are thousands. Okay? Then what do I need to do? Then I want this operation to be run. I want to take continuously. Then what I will do is that I will create a pointer for this selection of statement. Okay, instead of moving the values into the memory space, I'll create a pointers. Pointers means what? I'll mark the memory location. Okay, I'll mark the memory location. Then I will move the memory location into the variable spaces one by one. Okay, until these memory locations are completed. Until these memory locations are completed, then I will utilize those memory locations to insert into that. That memory locations, okay, that address of memory location is called what? Cursor. What is that? Cursor. Or you can call it as pointer of memory location or pointer for selected records, whatever the language. Okay, that actually is a memory address or address location, whatever the word you can utilize, or memory location. Okay, let us work on that one. For example, select the names of the customer, C underscore name, names of the customer where age is greater than or equal 30. Okay, I got some list of the people greater than or equal to 30. Okay, now what is the first one? I'm just making the change in the cost one table. Oh, trigger is there. I need to disable because if somebody is dropping the table, I created a trigger now. That is the reason. You need to be very careful about the triggers. Yeah, this is that one. Okay, I just created. Now what I want to do is that, where is that? Yeah, no. Yeah, select name from. Then here, what I want to do, I don't want to create any permanent object into the system. Okay, cursor is not database object. What I want to do, I want to point that memory location. Okay, I want to note down that memory location. I want to highlight that memory location. or I want to create a pointer for that memory location, anything, whatever you can. Then what I will do, I will declare memory location means what? I need to declare that memory location. No? Declare cursor1 as cursor for whatever the statement you are writing. Next. Done. The cursor is created. Now next what? I got this memory location. Then next what do I need to do? I need to create a memory location in outside the table. Then I need to move this address to the memory location one by one. Okay, how many memory locations I need to create? Means how many variables I need to create? One variable, because I'm pulling out one name only. Now next. Okay. Declare @name as envar of 20. Now I declare means what? I have created the pointers and I created the memory location. Then what do I need to do? I need to move this memory address to that memory location or not. Okay, I need to move this memory address to the memory location. Now next what? Or memory pointer to the memory location. Then means what? I need to open the cursor. Then cursor is not database object, it is not a table. How can I get the values from the cursor? Then I need to use cursor function called fetch. Next, fetch next means what? Whatever is immediately available. Fetch next from CUR1, sorry, into what? I will always confuse with this. Okay, into that memory location. Okay, fetch next from the cursor one into that memory location. Means what? Whatever the name, address you pointed, it came into that one. Now, next what you need to do? Insert into cursor one, sorry, customer one. Is there or not? Is customer one? What is the table name? Cust1, why it is not displayed? Not a problem. Cust1, okay. Now values are there, but how many values are there? I don't need to enter the address. Then I'll just enter the same name. Okay. Then I'll concatenate with. I can use concatenate with YOUNG. Okay, comma, means what? The name add, and I will add one more keyword called young to that name. Okay, now next what? Or Mr. or Mr. something, I can add it. Okay, now next what is it? Remaining two columns are there. I don't need to worry right now. I'm just entering one line. Okay, now values. But what insert statement insert how many values at a time? One. But how many values are there in the select statement? Multiple. There are 6 values are there. How can I do that? Then I need to run this process continuously. Okay, until the memory locations are completed. Then how do I know that memory locations are completed? Then I can use one function, one loop called while. The function, cursor function I can use fetch status. If you can go to the function, system function, sorry, PTCH. Okay, @ fetch status is equal to 0. Fetch status means what? When you are fetching, the status of that fetching values are gone, completed. Is equal to 0. Begin, insert the values, After inserting, what you need to do? Again, you need to fetch one more time. Then end it. If the fetch status is not there, then this loop will roam inside it until the fetch status becomes 0. Once the fetch status becomes 0 means what? It will come out that loop. Okay? There are 3 different kind of loops are there: for, while, and if. Okay? Means while loop means what? Until the condition satisfies, repeat the transaction, whatever it is, a select statement, insert statement, update statement, whatever it is. Okay? Or A plus B. Okay? Or for means what? Start from one location and end it in one location. Okay? Start when customer fetch status equal to 1 and end it fetch status equal to 100. Okay? Only move the 100 records. Like that. Okay? For means what? There is a starting and beginning, ending will be there for loop. And if means what? Either or. If the condition satisfies, do this, or else do this, or else do this, if else condition. Okay? Like when then. Okay? If else condition, for condition, and while loop means what? Until the fetch status becomes 0, repeat this insert and fetching thing. Fetch 1, insert 1. Fetch 1, insert 1. Fetch 1, insert 1. Repeat this. Then after completing, then close the cursor. Then, because of this cursor is a memory location, means what? Are you want to keep that memory location permanently on the system? No. Because if it is kept one next time I cannot execute this statement. Then I need to use one function called deallocate that cursor one. Means what? Deallocate that memory location. Remove that memory location once the purpose is solved. Okay? This is a cursor. Whatever we are doing in that one, first we are creating a memory address, then we are creating a memory space, then we are moving the memory address from that, we are fetching this information into that memory locations, then from that memory location we are using it. But here there is a chance of one record only, one row only. Okay? There is a chance of one row only, there is chance of. Then what I am doing? I am creating a loop until this fetch status becomes 0, 1. First it will take this, fetch status still there is one more inside. It will take. Then after moving these 2 records, what will happen? Fetch status becomes 0. Then it will come out, then it will finish inserting into the record. Okay, this is called cursor. Now, the cursor always performs inserting or any transaction. Instead of inserting, I can do updating, I can do selecting, whatever I can do deleting also. But the cursor will do row by row. Okay, wherever is needed. If somebody want to do everything together, then you can use a temporary table. Okay. What is the plus point here? I can use condition. If age belongs to 30 to 40, I can use conditions also. Okay. Above 50, attach old. 30 to 40, young. Below 30, child. I can use multiple conditions for multiple rows. Then execute this cursor. Oh, what happened?
Customer 1.
Cursor 1 is there.
Customer.
Sorry guys. Okay, I didn't select it. Top. Done. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. One by one. Okay. Then if I am executing one more time, what will happen?
Override.
No, it will not overwrite. Are we asking you to overwrite? It will run one more time.
Yeah, that's.
Whatever the query we are writing, inserting into, no? Their ID is also auto-generated ID. Okay? Then it will write one more time. But do you need to run? You can use it. Okay? Then if you can run this statement once in a year, means what? The age will be changed, no? The age will be changed. You can do that. Or else you can do that begin, truncate the table, then insert. You can do that, no? Truncate the table and then insert. That you can do. Now this is called cursor. You can go back and check in the select star from customer 1. See, during or again. But in the what are there in the customer, entire customer table? he didn't consider the people who are, oh sorry, I put greater than, no name. He didn't consider the no name because it is less than 30. Okay. Whenever somebody is asking you to apply the transactions row by row, then there is a need of cursor. Okay. But people will say that always never use the cursor, it is slow. Yes, slow, but if there is a requirement like that, what you can do. Okay, because cursor always applies row by row. Okay, row by row. Yes, obviously it is going to be a little slow. Okay, this is called cursor. Okay, now oh. Hello. Okay. Now here we are talking about TCL statement. What are the TCL statement? What are the TCL statements? TCL means what? Transaction control statements. What are the transaction control statements? What are the transaction control statements? Commit. Everybody forget?
Rollback.
Rollback. Next what? Save point. How exactly these are going to help us transaction? Why we need a transaction control? Why we need transaction control? Tell me. Do we need actually transaction control? Do we need transaction control?
Yeah.
Okay. For example, if there is a table, and if some one person is updating the records or inserting the records, okay, there are 20 columns or 30 columns. That insert is happening or taking some time. Somebody is inserting the records. Okay, then that insertion process is taking some time. And at the same time, another user want to update the same record what is trying to insert. You don't know whether that insertion is completed or not. You don't know whether that insertion is completed or not. Then what will happen? What will happen? The system doesn't tell him that, oh, no, wait, man, somebody is inserting, let it insert is completed. Because you didn't know, you are just inserting, updating. Okay, it is just like there is a tunnel, nobody is telling you that one, somebody is coming from that side, means what? What will happen? Both the people can enter same side, no? Then somebody has to tell them that, wait, somebody is coming. Means what? There should be a traffic light. Like that, you need to tell. If you are inserting the records, you need to tell the system that one, let the system know about or confirm you are entering the information. Or else what will happen when you are trying to enter, if I enter all these things, immediately if I press Ctrl Z, what will happen? Gone. Whatever I enter will go. Is that true or not? Whatever I last enter will go. Why it is going? Why it is happening? Whenever I am creating a new Word document, okay, the system will create a temporary file until unless I save this file. If something suddenly computer stops, can the system save all my information? No. But I entered into the system, no? How can the system doesn't know? System is not actually physically saving that information. You are not letting the system to save your information, or you are not telling the system to save your information. That is the reason system is not able to save your information, but it is saving in the temporary location or virtual memory or temporary memory. Okay, like if I am entering some word, okay, if I'm closing, or else if I'm pressing Control Z, what will happen? Everything will go. Means what? I'm rolling back. Okay. If I'm entering and press the enter button, I'm entering something, enter button, then what will happen? When I'm pressing Control Z.
Just last one's gonna be
Then go to the next step. Then go to the next step. Means what? I'm placing some save point in the transaction. Like that, when you are doing the select and insert, yesterday you did one transaction called select and insert and update together. Okay, what you want to do? Let the select complete. You want to do the insert, or select and insert and update together? Then you need to tell the system that let the select complete or let the insert complete. Then if you want to tell the system that insert complete means what? Here what you are doing, you are saving the document. Once you save the document, once you press Control Z, will it go away? Will it go away? Let us try. Control, yes, save it. Open it. Control Z. Will it go? After saving? No, how many times you press? You cannot roll back. Means what? You are letting the system that I am committed. Like that you need to do. After the insert statement, you need to tell the system that I am committing this transaction. Sorry. I am committing this transaction. Or else, after committing, if I don't want, if condition is not satisfied, if condition is not satisfied, then we can do the rollback. Okay, that's what. How exactly real time works here? Let us see. Okay, committing. For example, begin transaction. I'm beginning the transaction. You need to use these keywords. Begin transaction. Okay, delete from cust1. Then, okay, then what I'm doing? Roll back. Or I can name it. Begin transaction trans TRU1. I can name the transaction too. Okay, now roll back. What will happen if I'm executing all three together?
Information come back again.
Sorry. Okay. It is saying deleted. Records are there. What is happened? Exactly. Okay. Then first it is deleted. Then again roll back. That rollback information it is not giving us, but actually the transaction got rolled back. Okay, because these are not, all DML statements are not auto commit statements. You have to commit manually. Then if you are not committing, what will happen? You can roll back. Anybody can roll back. Okay, before ending the transaction, you can roll back. Okay, for example, if I am doing commit transaction CUST1. Okay, what will happen? Then if I am executing rollback. Okay, or else if I am executing everything together. Rollback transaction as request or no begin transaction, because this already committed. You cannot roll back the committed transaction. Okay, sorry. Okay, I cannot. Now, like that, gone. Your committed transaction, you cannot roll back the committed transaction. Like that, you need to tell the system. After committing this, if somebody is trying to do, Insert, what is the system tell? Okay, let the transaction complete, then let the other records come. Okay, this is called handling the transaction control. Or else what will happen? Deadlocks will occur. Deadlocks means what? None of the transaction will happen. System will hang up. Okay, that is a dangerous situation in the database. Okay, then you have to write the transaction wherever it is necessary. You need to use the commit transaction, rollback transaction keywords. Okay, this is using same queries, same something. Okay, you can use this one. Okay, but truncate, drop, create, all are auto commit statements. You don't need to write the separate commit. Once it is dropped, you cannot roll back. Okay, you cannot roll back. But all the DML statements are non-auto commit statement. You can use the transaction control statements. Okay, to better write the statements. Now, we already completed the temporary table concept, no? Temporary table concepts. Creating a temporary table. Okay, purpose, whenever you need it, you can create a temporary table, but only you need to use a create table or select star into table or anything. Hash table means what? That is going to be your temporary table. If you are using one hash, it is going to be local temporary table. If you are using double hash, it is going to be global temporary table. Okay, it is going to be global temporary table. Okay, now means what? Local temporary table works within the session. Global temporary table works across the sessions, but until the connection is open. Until the connection is open. Okay, that is the difference between the local and variable. Also, if you are declare at the rate name as okay envar. Okay, this is local variable, means what? That will work within the session. If you are declaring the same name as, this is called global variable. This is called what? Global variable. Same thing like if you are using the one hash, okay, and double at the rate is called what? Global variable. But unfortunately, there is no global parameter. Okay, you cannot apply for parameter. Okay, you can apply for variable, but you cannot apply global parameter. That is a parameter global or locally. You are going to insert the value exclusively, no, from at the time of execution. Okay, now these are some okay, and what we will do is that this is the basics of your Tsql. Okay, then you can learn. Okay, you can just browse through all the functions. Let us browse through some system store procedure. If I want to know about the, okay, if I want to know about my system or taking the help, okay, or what is happening on which database I am logging in, who is the owner, and entire information of my database, then I can use exec sp underscore who. It will give me the information of what are the databases available in my system, what is the, okay, who is the using and what is the background running, who is the authentication and everything, on which computer, who is the administrators, what is the process, everything it will show. Or else I can use the sp underscore help. Remember, whatever you are creating, for example, okay, sp underscore help, it will give you the database name and owner and the objects of the database wherever we are executing. Okay, now, for example, you are creating a login, no? When you are going to the security, you are going to the security and logins and create new login. You are doing using the GUI. Means what? Whatever you are doing in terms of GUI, the system is automatically running one SQL statement and saved in form of a system store procedure. For example, adding the login or creating a table or altering the table. Okay, everything. Okay, whatever you are using GUI way, the system is automatically saved one SQL statement and saved in form of a system store procedure. For example, sp_add login. Add agent parameter, add login. See, add login is there. What exactly is a login? When you are creating a login, what will you give? Username, password, authentication type, and the mapping. See, same thing. Login name, password name. Okay, the default is what? See, system is created a store procedure. System created a store procedure. You need to write, see, password name, the default value, if you are not giving the password, it is null. If your default database, if you are not giving, the default values are there. Wherever the add login, I can simply write, what is that? User1. Can I create like this without giving any other details? Because there are default values are there. You can create a store procedure with default value, like that system is also created. Password you can give, if you are not giving, it is null. Default database, if you are not giving, system is taking what? Master. Default language, if you are not giving, it is taking null. Okay, SID, it is taking as null. Encryptor, null. Just I can create user1 or else user1, comma, user1. Okay, execute. Go back. But I executed this one in the VHM new. Means what? The user will be created on the where? Where the user will be created? On the main. User1 is created. Now automatically properties. Okay. Master. The password is there. Whatever we give. Okay. Remaining things are not selected. Server roles public, user mapping. No, it should have the public one. Yeah, see, user1. Okay, then I can create the users because to create this stored procedure also you should be the administrator. Remember, okay, like that. There are many stored procedures you can use simply like you can write sp_. Okay, active directory start and stop. Okay, fuzzy lookup table and maintenance, script to file. Every store procedure will have whatever the GUI operations you are doing. Every store procedure will have it. I'm not asking you to by heart everything. Okay, just to know something. Okay, but don't ask me what I need to remember. It is very difficult to say. Sometimes whatever you want to do, you can do it by GUI. Sometimes you need to do with the store procedure. If you have the time, yes, you can browse. Just keep it a cursor. It will explain you. Okay. If you're searching in a Google, people will tell, remember this, remember that. But for me, I don't know what to remember, what not to remember. If you are trying to remember, you're going to lose most of the things. But know how to use the system store procedures. Okay, then take a time. Okay, if I need some particular work, take a time and search if at all any system store procedure is there. If you are utilizing next time, you'll remember automatically. Okay, like that. Or else, if you keep on by hearting, see the list, huge. Okay, but I'm not asking you to not to go. Just browse it. If you are browsing once, then you'll remember what is used for what. Okay. Lot of procedures are there. I never counted. Okay, this is the basics of a Tsql. Okay, now you can always tell that I wrote a complex query. Complex doesn't mean by using the complex functionality. Complex by using the complex logic. Okay, using the complex logic. For example, yesterday we wrote one insert into, but same I can write insert into statement, but I am verifying whether username is there or not. Then I am writing insert into statement. I implemented one more logic. I can use multiple logics in the same insert into statement. Okay, means what? I wrote the complex store procedures. Okay.
So in store procedure, this system store procedure is stored in master database, right?
No. Okay. Remember, guys, system store procedures, system functions has to be copied for every database
So we can.
because you are doing transactions in every database, no? Okay, and if you are creating a new database, automatically all the system store procedures and all the system functions will be copied into that database. Every system database, system store procedures separate from each and every database, but same copy will be there, but separate. Automatically, the system will create with the understood with sp underscore who. When you execute in that one, it will give the database what you are using information, not systems information. Okay. That you should remember. Okay, you can go and check. Databases are there, no? Okay, every database will have the system store procedures. See, whenever you create a new database, okay, that is everything copied from the model database. The system store procedures, system functions, and the system tables will be copied into your database. But whenever you want to create your own functionality, apply for the multiple database, there is only one way. You need to copy that script into another database. Okay, you need to create that store procedure or you need to create that function into the another thing. Okay, that is the only way. Okay, whenever you are creating a system store procedure, it will be automatically copied into every database, not only in master. Okay.
Because public for all users is one, not for might be some
It is public for every database, every user, every schema, everything. System store procedures. Okay. Whatever you can do GUI wise, everything is done using the SQL, and that is saved as store procedure. Okay. You can do the column alter. You can create a user manually by using GUI, or else you can use the store procedure, or else you can write as SQL statement. Okay. You can do that. Any questions, guys? Kritika, Lina, and Pirti.
No, nothing.
Okay.
No.
Now I am going to give you one task related to adventure works that relate with the cursor, function, store procedures, and views. Everything. One question on each. Okay. Use the adventure works database. Adventure works, not LT. Adventure works database. Solve those 11. How many? 11 or 12? Yeah, previous batch already sent it. Okay, previous batch already sent it. I am going to send you guys. Okay, yesterday I thought of sending you guys. Okay, these are the basics, and later we are going to learn about how to increase the performance of your queries and about the indexes, but not right now. Okay, then immediately from Monday onwards, how to represent the result in a presentable format, like developing the reports, continuation of writing the queries. Okay, I want you to be in the same mode. Continuation of writing the queries. We can start working on the reports on Monday onwards. Okay. Now, and make sure that everybody install with the reporting server. Okay. Reporting services. And if anybody is installed with the Express version, the reporting services works in Express version 2. No.
Just the
Yeah.
TL.
Okay, then make sure if there are any problems are there, I'll help you to configure.
When are you going to commence with business?
What is business situation? Yeah, reporting is a part of BA, no?
When are you going to start that?
Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Okay,
What's the name of the component? What's the name of the component for
reporting.
the reporting?
Yes, SQL Server reporting services. Okay, we are writing a queries and where you are viewing the results on the query window. Okay, but if somebody is asking those results, how you are going to send it to them? You need to put it in a presentable format. That presentable format is called what? A report. Okay, then we need to know how to develop the reports. Okay,